From the man who brought you Funderland Amusement Valley, what I deemed the best park ever created with almost 500,000 views on this channel, I now present to you, ladies and gentlemen, Funderland Magic Kingdom, created by the one and only Rai2312, a legend in this community. And here they say, "Heyo, Johnny and all. Welcome to the final installment within the Funderland series, Funderland Magic Kingdom. This is a Disney-inspired park, not a recreation, so many will notice big similarities to real life, but nothing is the same. My whole objective was to make it feel like it had a Disney vibe, and many have said that it does. Once through Main Street, hang a left into Adventureland, and let the journey take you wherever you want. This is a family-designed park, but it has its quirks and thrills to suit. The build took over 1,400 hours, over 16 months to complete, and I hope that it shows. There's no behind-the-scenes building done to save on overall piece count. There's a number of firsts for me in this park: a river rapids, a huntsman, armada boat ride, and a shooting ride, so I hope you enjoy these and much more. Thanks to all that contribute to the park. Joe J for his great coaster within Space Mountain finished off with my theming. Enjoy the park, guys, and thanks for the review. Rai. Good googly moogly, ladies and gentlemen. It is a full-on Disney park. As you can see from the B-roll, it has it all. From Adventureland to Frontierland to Space Mountain, you name it, it has it. It's definitely Disney, has that centerpiece Disney castle in the middle of the park. But what I like is this creator has gone and added their own personal touch, their own personal flair, and I think that's much more creative than just recreating one of the Disney parks. With that being said, this is probably going to be one of my all-time favorite Disney parks of all time, not only because Rai is one of my favorite creators in this community and makes some of the best parks I've ever seen, but I have seen a lot of recreation Disney parks, and they play it very, very safe, copying everything as closely as possible. And I think straying away from that just a little bit adds a little bit of creative flavor, which I'm really excited about. And to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, we now have a new computer. We're rocking the 4090, an i9 14000K processor, 64 gigabytes of RAM. My performance in Planet Coaster has in fact tripled, and Mega Parks will now be smooth. Better yet, we can finally also let the guests in. So let's delay no further and get right on into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Funderland Magical Kingdom. Why do I have a menu open here? Now, I am so happy to present Rai as the first ever park featured on my brand new computer. Never before have we been able to see Mega Parks end to end running this butter smooth. What would normally be a 10 FPS park is now a 30 FPS. While it's not 30, I still have some tricks up my sleeve with the new Premiere Optical Flow, so we can hopefully simulate an extra 60. I'll have to see how that goes in post. But for you guys, it should be one of the smoothest Mega Parks you have ever seen on the channel. I let 2,000 guests in, and I still feel like there are no guests wandering around this park. So what we're going to do, we're going to push this computer to the max, and we're going to let in 4,000 more, or 2,000 more guests, for a total of 4,000. We need this magical kingdom to fill right up. Come on in, everybody. Get into Funderland and have some fun. Now, Rai did say in the introduction here, this is the last of the Funderland series. We'll have a link down in the description below for all of the Funderland theme parks, because they are some of the best parks ever featured on this show. So if you guys enjoy this one, go check out the other ones. Personally, it's going to be hard to top his last creation. It was one of my favorite theme parks of all time, and I so labeled that as one of my favorite parks ever created for the thumbnail. And it is trending to be one of my top performing Planet Coaster videos on this channel. Okay, the guests are flooding in. Whoops. Let's slow it down. Fill up Main Street, why don't we? And look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Disneyland Main Street. So while it is a very Disney-inspired park, as mentioned in the introduction, it is not intended to be a recreation. However, it feels like it is a recreation. I've seen a lot of Disney parks on this channel, and it feels very familiar to me. I mean, look at that. We even have a TMTK of Walt himself and a little Mickey. Wow. Incredible. This is honestly not what I expected out of Rai Rai. He said he was making one mega park for me to feature. And Rai Rai is a very unique individual. Almost look like Jurassic Park font for some reason. Best at night. Sure, we can absolutely do that. First time I've gone to nighttime lighting in Planet Coaster on my new PC. Very nicely done. So yeah, Rai Rai is a very unique individual in the sense that he creates parks that are very different, extraordinary. And the last park that we featured was a Funderland Magical Valley or something. Forgot the name off the top of my head. I mentioned it in the intro. There's a lot of elevation and giga coasters, strata coasters that stretched hundreds of feet in the air. And I just did not expect that type of elevation and intertwining connectivity between coasters and areas. It was really jaw-dropping. Did I miss a sequencer? No, just a lamp. So for him to switch from that to what is Disney-inspired, I feel like it's a little bit more constraining. A lot of Disney parks have the exact same layout, and they generally don't have a lot of elevation. The rides are elevated, but the park itself is not. So, interesting. Obviously, Rai Rai's a big fan of Disneyland, so I don't blame him for wanting to try something different. So, I'm here for it. I'm here for the experience. Here's a look at the stats on the River Rapids if you guys want to see them. We're gonna find one here that's in the station. Do we have any guests coming in? The new 2,000 guests pouring into the park is starting to fill out these queues just nicely. So here we go. All right, so new computer. Very excited, obviously. I was making a joke, saying to people that you guys have been telling me to get a new computer since I got a new computer, because the game Planet Coaster's engine is so old that it even runs bad on a new computer. And that was true. That was very true, because what was that? I got my old computer like 6 years ago, and the game is 7 years old now. So the computers back then, even a brand new one, couldn't handle these mega parks. Excuse me. So I was running parks at 10 FPS with a brand new computer 6 years ago. So I've been used to people telling me to get a new computer since the day I got a new computer. And it's very insulting when you put all your savings into a computer that cost me like probably $3,000 or $4,000 at the time, and then people are telling you to get a new one. Very heartbreaking. So I was making a joke now that there's no computer on the earth that can make this bad engine better, which is somewhat true. Very true. My GPU is at like 3% load right now. My GPU is like literally taking a nap. This game is very CPU heavy. So, I have the best CPU you can get. And it's still, you know, not able to run this game at 60 FPS. Maybe we're looking at another 5-10 years before that changes. But the joke is, if I get an extra 20 frames and had to spend $7,000 on this computer, we're paying like $500 a frame. So, enjoy the new frame rate, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to help me pay off this computer, join the Patreon. Links are down in the description below. But the good news is, I have a new invigorated energy to bring spotlights that I would normally scare away from. Because as much as I enjoyed mega parks, I never enjoyed a PowerPoint presentation. Nobody wants to go to a park that somebody spent a year or two making and experience it at like a slideshow frame rate. And now I can appreciate them in their fullest, and that excites me very, very, very much. So I hope it excites you guys as much as it does me, and I get to put this new computer to the test. So I'm going to be filtering through my submission box. When people submit creations, there's a link for that submission form down in the description below if you want to submit your own creation. But we ask a series of questions like what represents your build, like what kind of a build is it, and all that stuff. And we do have an option for Mega Park, and that would entail something like this. So I'm gonna be going in there and filtering by Mega Park and bringing you guys the very, very best that you have ever seen over the coming months here. So there's no better time to be subscribed to this channel. You can expect to see at least 1 or 2 parks like this a week until I run out in the foreseeable future. Unless you guys are amped up to get building again, send in your parks. I really like how you built this like really cool adventure bridge here and have all the pathways kind of going underneath with the train passing over top. You recommended us go at nighttime, but I actually really love the ambience of all this at daytime. The way that these like waterfalls kind of roll over and the bridges all intertwine. I've seen like areas like this in Disney parks, but like I said, because the Rai took full creative freedom to do whatever he wants with, the integration and detailing is just next level. This is better than a Disney park in my opinion. This is next level Disney. Maybe that's what we should title the video. Little food court here with Tiki Chiki. It's Plankofied Disney. There we go. That's the term I'm looking for. Even with the 4,000 guests in this park, it's still not packed. But what I love is that I have 4,000 guests in a mega park. In the past, we've had to explore parks as we're the only people in the park. Best at night. Why are you doing this to me, Rai? Everything at night? All right. So this would traditionally be the Pirates of the Caribbean. Is it Pirates of the Caribbean? Yes, Caribbean. Is there a difference? I don't know. But let me know down in the comments below. Is there any parks that we should go revisit that we couldn't have guests in that were absolutely melting my computer? But for now, let's feature the ones that we haven't seen, and then maybe we could talk about revisiting some. So here we got the Pirate Getaway, which is the Pirates of the Caribbean. 1.5 kilometers in length, 170 seconds in duration. Biggest drop is 24 meters, 8 inversions on this puppy. That one's taken off, so why don't we get on that one? I think we're going to do a track view. Avoid any flailing arms. Actually, let's see what the seat's like. I think seat looks better. We get that elevation that we need. All right, enjoy the ride, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. We gotta ride this at daytime. I just love these pirate adventure rides. And we could do a track view this time to like really soak up the layout here. And we're gonna have to jump ahead to this one. Off we go. Absolutely incredible. I think I preferred the day personally. Maybe a nice in-between with a day-night sequencer could have been great. So some of it's dark, some of it's day. That's always an option there. What I got to comment on most of all is that you feel the Rai DNA. What I mean by that is everything that Rai puts his hands on has a particular atmosphere to it and attention to detail. With that being said, it's in combination with that of what is Disney. And what I think you get as a result is Planko-fied Disney. It's better than Disney, in my opinion, because traditional Pirates of the Caribbean rides that I've seen in Disney recreations have been very, very short in length and lacking in detail in comparison to what we just experienced there. So that's really cool to see. We have a rat ride here. Probably another building that we should go in at nighttime. Oh, hello. We have a wild mouse. It's the showing rats. There's a look at all the ride results if you'd like to see them. Off to the rat race for us. Wow, I absolutely love this ride, and I am loving all of these rides. It is a ride park after all, so, you know, it's my first park spotlight on my new computer, guys. I feel like I want to give you guys the best experience possible, and really soak up what is one of the best Disney parks ever made. So why don't we do day and night on several of these coasters? Boom, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. So, one thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention about the new PC setup is I am currently still set up on a 1080p monitor. I do have a 4K 144 hertz monitor coming, and in the future, also with the recording software, I'm trying to work out the kinks. I'm hoping that the bitrate is high enough for you guys. But there are encoders, like AV1 NVIDIA encoders, like a new one to OBS. Adobe Premiere, which I use to edit, it still does not support that. So once they update that to support that, the encoding quality should also go up, which should not only improve the quality of videos alone, but as we get 4K, I can actually either give you guys 4K videos or 1440p, somewhere in between, or record in 4K and downscale to 1440p. So it'll still kind of look like 4K, and there'll be more, you know, quality. So the quality bar does not end here. We got the Big Thunder Mountain, a classic Disney ride. But yes, I'm going to be working on hopefully bringing you guys 4K coaster spotlights, and I'm pretty excited to do that. I don't know about parks because files. Oh, the files will get out of control. I'll test it though. We'll see. But I don't get my new monitor for a few days, so we'll test it out. Maybe on some smaller parks and see how that goes. But 1080p should be good enough for now. It's still considered HD. And here we are at Rai-Rai's Big Thunder Mountain, almost 2 kilometers in track length, 63 miles per hour is the fastest speeds, 23-meter descent, and a little bit of air time. This one, I definitely feel like we got to ride the back of the train here. So we're going to get in seat view at the back. Off we go. Oh, we're breaking out the Planet Bluegrass. Let's go. goes. I'm quite satisfied with that one. I don't feel like I need to ride that one at nighttime. It is, for me, best experienced at day. But good googly moogly. Like I said, that Rai DNA, the extra length and extensions added to what was already an awesome ride with Big Thunder Mountain was even better here. As the cave systems were better, there were more live hills, there's custom bridges. I mean, look at this. This is absolutely incredible looking. I love all the woodwork, all this custom stuff here, custom supports, custom bridges. It's captivating, to say the least. And look how good this is looking. And look how good it's running. Never have we ever experienced Planko at this quality. We've all been wanting a Planet Coaster 2, and while that would be extremely helpful, as I hear Planet Zoo runs much, much better than Planet Coaster. What we were saying, boat tours. Yeah, we could go on a boat tour. I could talk about my thoughts that I have right now while we take a putz around. Let's get on this one here. All right, what was I saying? Me and Batch were having a conversation earlier today saying that we'll do 2 times speed on this. We don't really... It's been like 7 years. This November will be the 7-year anniversary of Planet Coaster. And it's very curious why Frontier hasn't done a Planet Coaster 2. They did the Jurassic Park World Evolution thing twice. They are doing a Warhammer thing now. They got that space game going. And is it that they're preoccupied by other IPs, doing franchise games, that they feel those are the more profitable investments? But if so, I don't understand why they don't just take... They took Planet Coaster, they updated the engine, increased the lighting, the HDR lighting, the bloom, the God rays. They added in all this tech to what was already a pretty good engine. And then they added in all the zoo tech. So the coaster tech is still in Planet Zoo somewhere in the back end, right? They've got it tucked away somewhere because it's effectively the Planet Coaster engine, but just modified to be zoo tech. But the game has way better anti-aliasing, way better graphics, more optimized. So with better assets, you know, the list goes on and on and on. Well, I can understand that if you're a developer, you're thinking, well, if we do a sequel, we gotta like really raise the bar. Look at like City Skylines, you know, it's been so long and now they finally have a sequel coming out. And they're incorporating a lot of what they learned over the years to start the foundation at a much higher quality bar, and then they're gonna build off that. But for me, I don't really feel like we need new coasters, new rides, new tech, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I just want this game as it is, with all the updates that Planet Zoo has. The rain, the weather effects, the lighting, the anti-aliasing, everything that I just mentioned, right? To me, that would be more than enough. And how hard would it be to take your old tech that's already in the engine and just import all the assets from both Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo and repackage that all up for us and then sell us some DLC. My hope is that maybe they do really want to go above and beyond. They want to do that, but they want to add more to it and monetize it a little bit, right? Maybe they are actually thinking, because Frontier made the Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 way back in the day, maybe they want to do a Wild and Wet expansion pack. Maybe they want to add in water parks. Where am I going? Oh, guys, I went down an exit. It doesn't count. It's a flat ride. We made this rule. I came down here out of curiosity, okay? That's hilarious. Very cool mine shaft, though. We're gonna fly out. This is such a beautiful composition. But yeah, maybe Frontier wants to go above and beyond for us. And they want to add in a Wild and Wet expansion pack and, you know, whatever else. Who knows what they want to add in. And you can't really resell us the Studios DLC, the World's Fair DLC, and yada yada yada, because they've already packaged that up. But why not reuse that and use it as the base game for Planet Coaster 2, and then add in additional packs, you know, new sci-fi packs, new adventure packs. I would be more than happy to pay for the packs that are in Planet Zoo to be added to a Planet Coaster 2, like the safari packs, the African packs, and all that. So here's to hoping anyways. But the reason I brought that all up is because we've been really wanting a Planet Coaster 2 for so long. But with this new computer and how I got Reshade working, like this is what the game looks like without this. And I just got the settings just dialed in ever so perfectly. The only problem that I have with the state of this game currently is the aliasing. With or without Reshade, the aliasing is really bad. And obviously performance could always be better. But now I feel like I got a Planet Coaster 2 is the moral of the story. Just need a really crazy amount of RAM and CPU power. And really good Reshade settings. And we're finally there. So I'm pretty reinvigorated, at least for the foreseeable future. And I think that's good enough for now. So this to me is Planet Coaster 2.0. And I'm really excited to bring you guys new content. Sir Funderland, his final mega build. Now that is an interesting talking point, Mr. Rai Rai. Why? You never gave us a reason. So maybe Rai Rai, obviously he's going to be watching this video. Maybe Rai Rai can give us a reason why this is his very last ever mega park. Because I'm actually very saddened by this, because Rai Rai is, in fact, one of my all-time favorite creators. But let's enjoy the final one, if this is going to be it. That's a really fun take on the Disney Midnight Mansion. It's called the Haunted Mansion, and I like the, as I was mentioning, everything being Planko-fied. It's got a fun inclusion of the ghost, right? The Ghostbusters ghost. What was the Slimer? I think it's Slimer, right? That's it was there in all of the scenes. It was good to see that. Really fun. All right. And there it is, the Midnight Mansion. Beautifully done. I like the lighting as well. The whole park is very well lit, as it said at the park entrance there. This experience is made best for both day and night. So we did check out the steamboat. This is usually the whole fantasy area where we get the Dwarven Mine Train ride and all of that just over here. So it'll be interesting to see Rai Rai's take on all of that content. Beautiful open plaza areas. God, this is making me so happy. Not only how nice it is, but how nice it's running. What do we got going on over here? The swinging mine train, which is normally the Seven Dwarves, right? All right. Swinging mine train, about 1 kilometer exactly almost. 50 miles per hour, some air time on this bad boy. It's taking off. Enjoy the ride, ladies and gentlemen. We're going seat view so that we can swing with the buckets. absolutely incredible. Again, I love seeing Rai-Rai's take on these types of rides as we actually completely invert and the bucket is hanging. I love that. It's not just swinging, it's suspended. It's amazing. Look how many trains they got running on this thing too. How many total here? Where do I find this information? Number of cars, 5, 3 trains. There it goes. Beautifully designed, that one. Love it. There is a coaster back here that had me extremely intrigued. A Drat's Dream. That's fun. Now there's a dueling coaster. I think it was a dueling inverted coaster, if I'm not mistaken. Dueling Dragons. Ah. Makes sense. One's inverted, one is flying. Okay. We gotta go with blue first. What is this? Blue? Probably wants me to go at night. Alright, this is where the content really ramps up, ladies and gentlemen. Because I probably want to ride both of these at night, and I probably want to ride both of these at day. So break out the POVs. We're going day and night times 2. 4 POVs here. It's gonna be a doozy. But if there's any coaster that deserves that amount of replayability, it's going to be the Dueling Dragons. Let's go. What a queue, too. Oh, excuse me. I like the lighting here. Alternating the red highlights on the blue coaster and vice versa. Yeah, that looks so cool. All right, we have arrived at the Blue Dragon, and this is the flying coaster. It's 1.2 kilometers in length. There's a look at the rest of the stats here. I want to get on this one. Definitely going seat view. We're going to just tilt the camera ever so slightly because we are supposed to be looking down-ish. And turn reshade back on. Wait, what have I done? I fat-fingered it. right, so great use of the flying coaster elements. We're gonna walk this queue at daytime, but both of these should be very different experiences, as Rai Rai has utilized the core features of a flying coaster and designed the coaster in a way, as you should, the way a flying coaster layout is typically designed. But this inverted coaster should give us quite a different experience while still kind of dueling. So there's a look at the stats if you want to see them on the Red Dragon. We're going to start things off at daytime, and we'll probably do the seat view to get things started. Let's go. Good googly moogly, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. And if I'm not mistaken, we should have one more dragon coaster with the junior dragon over here. What do we got going on over here? An exit and an entrance. It's the little dragon. We got the whole family of dragons here. Let's go on up and experience the little dragon. Now, I gotta say, this might end up being my favorite coaster. No lies. Just because of all the custom woodwork. Look at this place. This is incredible. We'll look at it from a bird's eye view in just a second, but just take a second to appreciate all the woodwork gone into this. All custom placed, handcrafted, little archways, bridges, supports, wooden beams. It's all immaculate. That is the Rai Rai DNA that I was speaking of earlier. So here's a look at the stats. Nothing crazy. It is a junior family-friendly ride after all, but it's gonna be a good time. Definitely a good time. We're gonna sit somewhere in the back-ish, and off we go. absolutely love it. You see what I'm talking about now, guys? Oh, let's take a look at that and take a second to appreciate that Rai has built wooden tracks on the outside of all of the steel tracks to create this composition that we're seeing here. And I like all the little doodads and archways in between. That's so atmospherically impressive. And the train goes underneath it all as well. Look at that integration right there. That is just mesmerizing. And that's, again, what it'll break my heart, Rai, if this is your last park. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to us. Everybody, leave a comment down below and say, Rai, make another park, please. Beg the man. Beg the man. Give the video a like, share it on social media. Let's get this thing up to 500,000 views again like his last park. And maybe, just maybe then, Rai will build us one more freaking park. Because there's nothing like this. This is just supposed to be a simple Junior Dragon layout. And it looks remarkable. In fact, is my favorite coaster in this park so far. Just because of the complexity of the design there. I love it. Apparently there's go-karts. I haven't seen anybody riding them yet. We might have to let another 2,000 guests into the park. And hey, my computer might actually be able to handle it. Well, I used to make a limit of like no more than 1,000 guests in people's parks. When I saw 3,000, I'd kick half of them out. And now I got 4,000 guests in this park. It's an end-to-end mega. And I'm still running solid here. I am happy. Happy as can be. And I gotta say, like, when I got my new computer, my old computer when it was new, it's still a really good computer. It's the 1080 Ti, and it's an i9 CPU with, it's about 9,900 processing speed. I don't really know the technical term for it. It's a good computer. It will run most games on high, if not ultra, just not HDR. And, you know, so when I got that computer at the time, I was very, very happy about it. But, you know, Planet Coaster was such a heavy game that, like, the computer I had before that, it was a hard experience doing anything in this game in the beginning. So getting that new computer didn't really uplift my spirits in the way that this one has, because I've been suffering. We've all been suffering through these 10 frames per second parks for so long, and it wasn't until the newer CPUs have come out where we're actually able to run these. So I waited till the right time for sure, and we're here. What an impact. What an impact this has made in terms of my, you know, my ability to create content. So here we go. It is the Speedway go-karts. Why don't we, for old time's sakes, rename them to Bollard. That way we can race them. And for old time's sakes, we will take the car in the very last seat. All right, I should be in control. We're gonna do this. I'm in control. This also, I'm sorry if I'm annoying you guys with my excitement. It is my first park spotlight on this computer, but we've never actually been able to go on go-karts in mega parks before, because you need guests to ride the go-karts, and we usually have to kick all the guests out because it eats into performance. So this is a one-of-a-kind, unique experience right here for me, actually racing in a mega park. So with that being said, I encourage you guys to go ahead and make go-karts from now on in your mega parks, because look at this, I can actually race them. And I'm still in control. I thought I was no longer in control. Whoops. Okay, now I'm not in control. I thought I heard the pew, 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 pew. Another exciting change, I am now running with OBS again. I was having issues with that in the past. I hope when I get into post I don't have any issues. Otherwise I'll have to redo the whole recording, and that's not fun. But because I'm not using Shadowplay and I can use OBS again, I can actually look over and see that we've been recording for 1 hour now. So I used to not be able to like keep an eye on things and get a feel for how long we've been going. So that's also an exciting new change for me. This is where in Disneyland they usually have the people mover up here. And look at the way Rai Rai has integrated this yet again. I don't even know how he did this. Oh, you can... That's part of the ride? No, there's custom supports on here as well. Can you put a cover on it? I guess you can. You could tunnel it. Look at that. Not a lot of guests riding these rides. This is such a big park that even with 4,000 guests... Oh, I am getting a phone call. I have to pause my recording. Okay, we are back. I definitely lost my train of thought from earlier because I was on the call for half an hour. Some of you may know that I recently moved to Kelowna, BC, and we've had some really crazy forest fires, and my cousin's just a little bit north of me, about 5 minutes, and his zone just got put on evacuation alert. Doesn't mean he has to evacuate yet, but if it turns from orange to red, he's got to go, which I am actually outside of the evacuation zone, which means if he does get evacuated, he's safe to come here. So, we have winds, strong winds coming tonight, which means he might get evacuated if embers get blown his way, which is terrifying to think. And if that happens, you know, pray to God that his house is safe and everything is safe, and the firefighters just want people out of their homes so that they can fight fires without people being in the way or having to save people from burning buildings. So if he gets evacuated, he's bringing his 3 kids, his dog, his 2 cats, and his birds all to my 1-bedroom apartment. It's gonna be crampy in here if that happens. So praying to God that that doesn't happen, that they're safe, but he wanted to call me to give me the heads up that he might randomly call and say he needs to come on over and he's bringing everybody. So anyways, I just wanted to update you guys, be transparent with my situation, because it's still scary out here where I live, and if something bad does happen and content stops entirely on the channel, you guys kind of know what's going on. I try to update you guys time to time between the videos. So, yeah. Hoping, fingers crossed, because I'm really enjoying this new computer. I don't want to get evacuated. I don't want my cousin to get evacuated. I don't want anything to happen to any of us. And I would love to just dive in a little bit deeper and see what other kind of parks I can bring you guys. But the reality of the situation is that I live in what is currently one of the most dangerous places in terms of forest fires that we've ever seen in our history here. So I have to always be on alert, and that is a little scary. So here we are, though. We're at Space Mountain, ladies and gentlemen. There's a look at all the stats. Almost 2 kilometers in length, 60 miles per hour, 13 inversions. As I was saying earlier, all of these have been Disney Plus. Hashtag no sponsorship. Disney Beyond. And Rai Rai has been taking what were already great attractions and making them longer, more intense, and just elaborating on all of the stats here. So this is going to be obviously a nighttime experience. We are at nighttime, and we'll probably go seat view or maybe track view on this one. We want, no, I think seat's going to be the best way, isn't it? Let's do seat. Okay, off we go. Wow, that was the starry panels on this are like the best I've ever seen, and so much so, if we had the arms on the way, we're in the seat view, we could see the front of the coaster, and at first I thought that would have made the experience a little bit more realistic, which it did, obviously. So that's like the actual traditional realism version of the ride, but I actually think this one would be worth taking another look at, and the track view. I saw that these like panels on the left and right and how low we were to the ground or to the track would have been distracting. However, I think it might look really cool with the way the starry panels. We're gonna be like gliding on the stars. So I think it's worth riding one more time. The track will be a lot smoother as well. So let's check it out. Okay, that was definitely worth it. I thought the track view experience was a lot more immersive in terms of flying through the stars. I really like the way the starry panels were designed in this indoor experience. Generally, I feel like these indoor experiences are just coasters inside of a box. But the way that the star panels were designed, it felt like we were flowing through the stars, almost traveling around a Milky Way, if you will. And I thought that was one of the most unique indoor space experiences that I have ever seen. So again, that Rai DNA, taking things over the top, never slouching on anything, always trying something different. And for me, that was, yeah, definitely the best indoor coaster experience, and honestly, the best Space Mountain that I've ever seen in any Disney park on this channel so far. And I've featured Disney parks probably like a dozen times now. And there are still more Disney parks in the inbox. I was avoiding featuring them just because they don't run the best, but that's no longer an issue. So obviously I don't want to do another Disney park so soon, because we are featuring one right here, right now. But be sure that I'll give it about, you know, a few weeks, a month or something, and we'll do another Disney park. I at least have a handful of them in the inbox, so yeah, we can do a new one every month or so. We are back at Main Street. So it just so happens that I stopped the recording to take a call right before we were almost finished. But if my last recording was an hour and this is 10 minutes, I feel like for mega parks we usually go sometimes an hour and a half, the ones to this scale at least. With that being said, I think we should ride this train. Of all the different train rides that you could possibly ride in Planet Coaster, here, let me turn the volume down as well. Does this work? I'm trying to turn the volume down in OBS. I'm going to use my volume mixer. The nice thing about recording with OBS, one of the downsides of Shadow Play is it tries to record whatever monitor you're touching. So if I tab over to an Excel sheet or, you know, a volume thing, it really always screws up my recording, and we lose visuals, and I have to like re-record stuff. It's been a huge pain in my side, and being able to record with OBS once again is amazing. And I could just reach over and turn the volume of the train down or of the game, and without any issues. So everything feels better. I feel better. I'm reinvigorated to do. I guess part of the drag of doing park spotlights in the past was not only the frame rate, the lack of quality, how long it took to edit things, because the importing, exporting, loading parks sometimes takes an hour. Everything is faster now. Parks load faster, importing files goes quicker, editing them is more responsive. I had a lot of crashes in the past. My Premiere editing software would always crash because the files would get so bloated and the drives were not fast enough. So for me, like, this is like A to Z. Every part of the process of making content has become easier with this computer, and I already feel like it was worth it. And I waited till the right time. You know, the 4090s was something I was waiting for, and that's going to make it a different experience for even other games that I play with the HDR lighting or HDR rendering, and just the amount of power that this thing has alone is remarkable. So, you know, I'm very, very excited about seeing where we can push this. I'm so happy that we have 4,000 guests in the park. We can go look at mega parks without kicking all the guests out. It makes for a more immersive theme. You know, it's a theme park game. We want to see people on the rides like we could see over there. We want to see them in the queues. And what a good experience. This being the first one ever, it just went above all my expectations. Not only is it a Rai creation, and not only is it a Disneyland creation, but we're experiencing it at the best possible experience you could ever have, because this is a state-of-the-art computer at this point. So I'm very, very, very pleased, and I just look forward to doing another one immediately after this. So I'm probably going to be bringing you guys' Pixel West's Pixel Continents Park. When I tried to load that one up, I want to say a year ago, I was getting like 7 FPS. I was like, I have a thing that I do. I give things a score on how excited I am to feature them. And I have a new score with a sad face called, it's a sad face FPS. It's an emoji of a crying face with a FPS in all caps. So anything that I scored with a sad face FPS, I can now go feature. So one of those was Pixel West's Pixel Continents Park, and I cannot wait to see how that performs. And it might not be the smoothest experience, because I think it might be even twice as big as the one we featured here today. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see, but stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because things are just going to get bigger and better from here on out. And my expectations have been blown away, and I feel very, very positive about the future of Planet Coaster. Yet again, we're breathing new life into this game with this new computer, and the sky's the limits once again. So I'm going to check the ride list one time before we end things off. I definitely don't want to miss any coasters, and then I'm going to give my final thoughts on the park and talk about for a second, if this is in fact Rai-Rai's last park, I'm very much sad. I'm saddened by this. And you know, going out with Disney as your last one, that's definitely a way to do it. But yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. Let me go check the ride list. That would here. I think this was going back around to where we started after we passed by Space Mountain. So we'll just zip on through here. But this train ride is very immersive. I've just kind of been watching it from my peripherals as I speak here. And other than the outbacks here, yeah, this brings us back to the main entrance here. But it had great integration. I like how it goes in between a lot of the rides. So definitely worth a ride there. All right, let's check out the ride list and make sure we're not missing any of these rides. Did I take a look at these teacups? I might have walked by them. Mad Hatter teacups. The People Mover we didn't really ride. I could probably check this out in like a 2x speed. It goes through Space Mountain. That's pretty cool. So you can see the coaster there. Very cool. I'm at 3x speed though, and this is if we started halfway through that, just to get all the way through this area of the Space Mountain Dome, that's like a 5-minute ride experience right there. And my volume is low again. Let's turn that up. Yeah, it's very rare that people actually use People Movers in their parks. And I like this one because it's kind of like the Disney ones, up in the air. Almost feels like a little bit of a monorail experience, but I'd like to see these used more often, especially like with little traffic networks on the ground and stuff. It's pretty cool. That's a quick look at it there. I found a ride called the Astro Blasters. It looks, because they mentioned in the introduction that they made a shooting ride. I must have missed that here. There's a small little entrance on the corner here. Wasn't too obvious, but as to my point earlier with the go-karts, I generally don't race them because you don't have people in the park. With shooting rides, it's very hard to ride them because the lag. I might actually be able to be a tryhard on a Mega Park shooting ride for once. Let's give this a go. This is actually quite exciting. I have no excuses now. I can't complain that there's input lag anymore. Oh my god, it feels so much better. Because when parks get to a certain scale, like they'll get to like 10 FPS, they don't actually get any lower than that. They never come to an absolute crawl. What happens instead is there is an input lag, and like you hit one key on the keyboard and it takes a second for it to do anything. And it becomes that way with these shooting rides as well. So this is actually refreshing. Oh, I missed. Okay, now I'm just bad. All right, I was not prepared. Focus up. Oh, that one just disappeared. One there, there, there. Wait, combo broken. I hit that one. Lies. This is glorious. I am so happy right now. It's a cool shooting ride. It's your basic target ride. It's not like a very like cinematic style one, but the environments are cool. My favorite shooting rides are the ones where you do like a little combo and then something happens. Wow, that's a lot of targets in a very short amount of time. No, this is difficult. It's difficult because the camera's fighting you. When the camera turns, it moves your mouse automatically. Nailed it. But for a straight target ride, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Not mad at that at all. All right, back to the ride list. I missed this little flat ride. Musical chairs in the medieval area. That's fun. I also missed this. What is this? A lot of these rides are so well integrated that you kind of pass it off as a building, but there's a ride inside each of these buildings. So I think I could have done a bit of a better job walking around a little slower. But yeah, there's another one there with the Rocktopus. Now this Iron Horse, it's still in test mode. I can't figure out why the train ride can't be opened. Oh, you have to open it manually. That's the drop tower. Wasn't there a boat ride armada? He said in the intro that there was a boat ride armada. What's this one? This. Okay. We definitely missed another ride then. Captain Lockjaw meet and greet. So I went down here for the Pirate Getaway. There's a ride down here. Okay, we're going the Pirate Adventure ride. Aha. Is there any other ride they mentioned? This might be the final ride, but considering how many little extras I've found so far, there might be another surprise ride. But definitely, I felt like there was a little bit of content missing based off of how long we've been recording for. Okay, Pirate Adventure, buckle up, off we go. I think we should do seat view. It's either this view or seat view. I think seat view is better. Let's check this out. It's very dark in here. I'm tempted to turn my flashlight on. Hopefully you guys can see stuff. Wow, what a ride. Oh my god, that had so many great pirate scenes. Definitely glad we didn't miss that one. Good googly moogly. Let me double check to see if there's any remaining rides, but that was amazingly immersive. Let's see what else we got here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is in fact the final ride of the park. What an experience that was. Here's a look at the whole park at nighttime. Beautiful. Absolutely incredible. A well-lit park, a great experience at both day and night. A very familiar Disney-style theme park from Rai Rai. What do I even say? Now, Rai Rai mentioned that this was their last of the Funderland series. But does that mean it's their last park? Maybe there's a new series. Maybe there's something else. I've definitely enjoyed the Funderland series. If you guys like this park, go check out the last one. And maybe I'll have to revisit the last one that they made with my new computer using the high settings with reshade, and maybe we could do it in 4K. I don't really know. I have some things I want to try, I want to experiment with, but there are more than a handful of Funderland parks throughout the history of this channel, and they're all worth checking out. So I'll try to dig them up and put them in the links down below in the description so that you guys can check them all out. I really hope this isn't the last of Rai Rai and it's just the last of Funderland, and maybe something else comes out of Rai Rai in the future. I know he's working on a park for a dedication park, a memorial park for Zaphor, who we recently found out that he passed away. Bless his heart. So we'll have one more Rai Rai park featuring all of Zaphore's creations. So we'll talk more about that when we get there. So bringing it back around to this one here today, it's very interesting that Rai Rai chose to go with Disney, and I'm not disappointed at all, because I would have to say that this is probably the best Disney park I have ever visited throughout the history of this channel, and that is solely because it's that taking what Disney does so well and elaborating on that, plankifying it, or Rai Rai-ifying it, if you will, taking you know, Big Thunder Mountain and making it bigger, taking a Pirates of the Caribbean ride and making it bigger, because most of the Thunder Mountain usually goes around the center. This Thunder Mountain broke out all the way out to here. I like the crossover, the extension, you know, and every ride does that in this park, and that's what I love Rai Rai's creation. So while I wasn't expecting a Disney park, I came out of it going, wow, that was the best Disney park ever. But it also detracts from me going and seeing other Disney parks in the future, because I just know it's not going to hit the quality bar here. So this will, in fact, go down in history as the best Disney-inspired style park, and while it's not a perfect recreation, I think it does it better. So I'm very happy in that sense, but the double-edged sword is that, will there be a Disney park that outdoes this? Maybe it outdoes it for its accuracy in terms of recreation. That's something to keep in mind. But I think this also, like, this is the best Space Mountain I've ever seen. This is the whole, like, the way that the People Mover was integrated and all the rides around it. It's gonna be hard to top this, even if you're going for a one-to-one recreation. I think adding that little bit of customization, the extension to rides and making them better than we've seen before, also adds to the creativity factor. So I think I prefer this over a one-to-one recreation of a Disney park. Personally, that's my personal opinion. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down in the comments below. The part where I get a little bit sad is Rai Rai is such a creative individual that this Disney park kind of put him in constraints, right? The layout of the park, where your Space Mountain's over here, your, you know, Adventureland and Frontierland, all of that are in distinct locations to the layout of a Disney park with a castle in the middle. You're going off of a bit of like a template, if you will. So I think Rai Rai was so good at breaking trends, going away from templates and doing something really wild. His previous parks had these massive mountains and amazing, I guess, draws of, like, I can see this coaster with a bigger coaster behind it and a bigger coaster behind it and a mountain with another coaster above it. There was so much elevation that, like, you just looked up at it all and it was like awe-inspiring, because the amount of creativity, you're building a park on essentially what is a mountainside rather than a flat open area area with a specific layout. So I guess part of me was expecting, like, what way is he going to go with it now? Is he going to go space? Is he going to go this? Or is he going to go that way? What kind of a biome is he going to use? What kind of a build style? And with such a creative individual, I felt like Disney, copying what Disney does and elaborating on it, does constrain from them going like out of this world like they've done in the past. But I digress. Bringing it back to my original point, it's the best Disney I've ever seen, and I'm not mad at it. In fact, I'm actually quite shocked at how well all this turned out, and I'm very, very satisfied. I got to experience another Funderland Rai experience with, you can see how captivating this coaster is and the way that it's integrated. It's all there the way Rai does it, just with like a Disney overlay, a Disney skin. I'm pretty satisfied. I can't really complain. This is another Funderland park, and it's Disney. You've outdone yourself in terms, it's the best Disney park I've ever seen, probably the best Disney park we'll ever see. I think it feels like a recreation, in my opinion. A lot of the, the parts that you would recreate from a Disney park are very accurate. And it just goes, it's like Disney Plus, like I said. Shout out to Disney Plus. And I think that's the way to do it. I really, really, really enjoy that. So hats off to Rai on yet another insane theme park, taking Disney for a spin here today and just knocking it out of the park. A super awesome, pleasurable experience to try this out on my new computer. I hope in post it all works out. I hope what you guys saw was a very smooth, clean running park with 4,000 guests in it, if you will, that too. So this is what you can expect going forward from this channel, is good, clean, high quality videos that run and look amazing. And Rai was the first of a new trend, and they might even get slightly better when I get that 4K monitor. I'll just have to do some testing to see how that all goes. We might stick to 1440p, but if you're watching my videos on a big screen TV, a 4K TV, I think we can do better. We can get you guys some better quality videos here in the future. All right, that's everything I want to say, guys. Exciting stuff about the new computer, exciting stuff about Rai's Last of the Funderland series. Fingers crossed that Rai does more parks for us in the future, maybe just not under the name of Funderland. I don't know. But if this is in fact Rai's last one, it's been quite a ride. And I feel very content with the amount of amazingness that this amazing creator has brought in us over the years. And I love every single Rai creation, and this was just as good as the rest, if not the best that I've seen so far. So amazing stuff yet again, Rai. What did you guys think of Rai's, what do we call this park? Funderland Magic Kingdom. Fire away down in the comments below, and maybe leave a message to Rai, say that you want him to make one more park, because I do. And be sure to like, subscribe, share the video with your friends on social media. Let's try to get this more engagement. The more engagement we get, the more Rai will be incentivized to make one more last park for us. And I'm a little greedy because I always enjoy never-ending content from Rai, because it is such a wonderful experience every single time. So there you guys go. That's going to do it for me in today's episode of Park Spotlight. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, a funderful day. Bye now.